And you know what? YouTube analytics is telling on y'all. Because you know what it tells me? It tells me on average, my viewers make it through six minutes of my video. Do you know how hard it is to slave over a hot laptop all day to find the perfect memes to make fun of myself so that I can teach effectively? Do you? What are you doing, little mister? Little miss? Let's get that number up, y'all. Get it up. These videos are getting shorter because I'm getting better at this. I'm gonna need y'all to watch the whole thing. The whole thing. All right, I'm done. I'm done fussing now. Finished. I don't even ask y'all to like, comment, or subscribe. I just want y'all to watch the whole thing and learn. That's it. But I'll see what y'all do this week. I'll see. And to think I was gonna Tuesday slide for y'all. All right, so today we're gonna be talking about magnets. So in order for something to be classified as a magnet, it has to fit 3 basic criteria. The first thing is that it has to attract iron, or it has to attract materials that attract iron. The second thing is that it has to repel or attract other magnets. And the third thing that it has to have is that if it's allowed to swing freely, then it has to always point to magnetic north. All right. So every magnet, you guys are used to seeing this, has 2 ends. It has a north end and a south end, and we call those poles. So the poles are where the effects of this magnet are felt the strongest. All right. And just like when we were talking about charges, how alike charges repel and opposite charges attract, is going to be the same for magnets. So if you have like poles, like north and north, or south and south, they're going to repel each other. But if you have opposite poles, like north and south, they're going to attract each other. All right? So if you look at your notes, and I'm going to put a picture up as well, even though the poles of a magnet are where the magnetic force is felt the strongest, is not the only place that you can feel that force and witness sort of the effects of that force. So the total area that you can witness the effects or feel a magnetic force is called a magnetic field. And when scientists draw the magnetic field of a magnet, they use lines and they use arrows. So the lines and arrows are always going to show magnetic force coming out from one side of the pole. So starting at one pole, wrapping around the magnet, so curving around that magnet, and then entering back into the opposite pole. And the arrowheads on these lines will tell you what direction the magnetic field or magnetic force is moving in. So arrowheads are always going to point away from where the magnetic force is starting and point towards the pole that the magnetic force is ending. So if you guys remember from the very beginning, the very first video, I told you guys, if you read your notes, I would tell you about who Earth's biggest hater is. All right. And if you don't know who Earth's biggest hater is by now, I'm not going to say I'm judging you, but I'm just a little disappointed. Because that means you didn't read the notes. You don't follow me on Instagram because somebody gave y'all the answer. And then I gave them a shout out with clues to the answer in it. But it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. I fussed enough in the beginning. I'm gonna get it together. I'm not gonna be mad. But the sun is Earth's biggest hater. And so when we think of the sun, we think about like the thing that gives us beach weather and seasons and it's the light of our life, and it gives us golden hour in the evening for our selfies. However, a lot of the energy and a lot of the rays that the sun sends to Earth are actually super harmful to life, and it's actually trying to kill us this whole time. Like, the sun is a whole hater and a half. So the Earth actually has a force field around it to protect itself. So in 6th grade, when you guys learned about the different layers of the Earth, you talked about, the crust is the part that we live on the outside. When you go through those layers and you get to the middle, you get to our core. And our core is made up of two parts, the outer core and the inner core. The outer core is the part that's important for us today. So the outer core of Earth's core is made up of liquid iron, right? And remember when we talked about the characteristics of a magnet, it has to be able to attract iron or other things that attract iron. So iron is super important for magnetism. But this liquid iron moving and shifting and floating around in the middle of, our planet actually acts as a giant magnet. And if you remember, you have those giant magnets where the magnetic field comes out from one end of the poles and then comes around to the other end, and it creates the whole area where that magnet can be felt. That magnetic field coming from our outer core is Earth's magnetic field. And this magnetic field is the force field that deflects all those harmful rays that come from our sun. All right? And it's extremely important for keeping life on this planet alive and uncrispified. All right? So, speaking of Instagram, I have a question. So, there is a phenomena that you can witness that is specifically comes from our magnetic field deflecting harmful rays from the sun. If you travel far enough north, you'll be able to witness this phenomena. I'm going to put up a post on Monday. Well, today. Sorry. I'm going to put up a post today. Go on Instagram, do your research, and tell me what's the name of that phenomena, and go ahead and get your shout out. All right? Get your shout out. They're fun. I work hard on them to make them nice and fun and quality shout outs. So, back to Earth's magnetic core. So, now that we've talked about, where this magnetic field comes from and the fact that the Earth has one big giant magnet in it, just like every other magnet has poles, the swirling vortex of iron in our outer core also has poles. Guess what those poles are called? The North Pole and the South Pole. Guess what? That's our North Pole and our South Pole. It's amazing how science works. It all just fits together. It's amazing. So, Earth's North and South poles, you have a magnetic pole, which is our North and South pole, that comes from that magnet. All right? So remember, the outer core, it comes out and then comes back around. And those are going to be our magnetic poles. So where the Earth's magnet in the middle, where you can feel its strength the strongest. However, because this magnet is swirling and moving, Earth's magnetic north and magnetic south poles move. They're not always in the same place. So that makes them very different from what's called Earth's north and south geographic poles. So Earth's north and south geographic poles are physically the farthest north you can be, so the tippy top of our planet, and the farthest south you can go, which is the very bottom of our planet. So if you were to draw a line, or you were to skewer Earth with a stick directly down the middle, the tippy top of that stick would be Earth's geographic North Pole, and the very bottom of that stick would be Earth's geographic South Pole. And so, since Earth's magnetic poles and magnetic poles move and geographic poles don't, they're not always, and they're actually very rarely in the same place. And so geographic north may be here, magnetic north may be here. And the difference between where geographic north and magnetic north and south are is called magnetic declination. All right, that's very, very important for navigation, and it's very, very important for different things, because the north that compasses point to are magnetic north, not always geographic north. So if you think about people looking for the North Pole, magnetic north is probably much easier to find than geographic north. And look that up. That's actually kind of a cool story about who got there first, who really got there first. Read up on it. It's interesting. What you do? So, like I said, these videos are getting shorter and shorter because I'm starting to get better and better at this. So I'm done. This is it. This is all I got for this week. Like I said, y'all know when Q&A is. Thursdays, 1:30, right after Science and Chill at 1 o'clock. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. And as always, be safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, stay away from each other, wear your mask out in public. Bye. Love you guys. Bye. Miss Huckabee? Who's that? I don't know her. That's must be someone else. New hair. Who this?
The number you have dialed has been changed.
I'm sorry, you must have me mistaken for someone else.